How are you guys today?
Good. Tired.
Tired? Thank you so much for letting me be a part of your school today. I'm really excited to be able to teach you guys a little bit about Korah. I don't know how much you've already been told about it, but first of all, does anybody know where Ethiopia is? Here's a question for you. Is Ethiopia a continent or a country?
Country.
Who knows that? Huh?
Country.
Yeah, good job. And what continent is it?
Africa.
Africa, yes, good job. You guys are so smart. So I'm sure you guys have a globe or something there, but here's Africa. Here's where we are, right here. And then Africa is all the way over here, across the Atlantic, clear over on the east side of Africa. So it takes from where I live in St. George, it takes over 22 hours to get there by an airplane. So it's far, far away. So Korah is in the capital city. The capital city of Ethiopia is called Addis Ababa. Can you guys say Addis Ababa?
Addis Ababa.
Good job. And that's the main capital city in Ethiopia. And on the outskirts of the city is the city's trash dump. Have you guys ever been to a trash dump or a landfill?
I saw one.
Yeah, do you know what that is?
Where all the trash goes.
Yeah, so that's where, when the garbage man comes and picks up your garbage trucks in the front of your house, he takes all of your garbage to a big city landfill or a garbage dump where all of your city's garbage goes. And so in Ethiopia, right outside Addis, is their city's garbage dump where all of the city of Addis Ababa, which is about 5 to 7 million people, take all their garbage and put it in this huge landfill. And it's huge. It's like mountains of garbage. So there, inside that landfill, that big garbage, lives people, lives families, lives kids just like you guys. And they live there because they are incredibly poor. They have nowhere else to live. And as a lot of their families, their parents have diseases. And so this little community, this garbage dump community is called Korah, Korah. And Korah actually means curse. You guys know what cursed means?
Yes.
It means people think there's something wrong with you or there's something bad with you. And so Ethiopia's country that's existed for a really, really long time, and they're considered what's called a third world country, which means as far as technology and all the amazing things that we have in America, like with medicine and all these things, they're a little bit further behind than we are. And so Korah has lots of people who have what's called leprosy. Do you guys know what leprosy is?
Yeah.
Talk about it a lot in the Bible, when Jesus healed lepers. So it's about 3,000 to 4,000 lepers in Korah. And it's because they don't have, number one, they don't have money to go to the hospital to get medicine. And number two, they don't have, sometimes they don't have the right medicine to be able to help them with these things. So I'm going to show you a picture of somebody who has leprosy, because you don't see people in America that have leprosy, right?
Yeah.
No. So I don't know if you can see this very well of this woman. Do you see how she doesn't have any fingers? Can you see that pretty good? So when you have leprosy is that slowly over time, you lose your fingers, you lose your toes, sometimes your whole entire foot, because it's a disease that makes these things fall off. Kind of a simple way to put it. So you see a lot of people in Korah with leprosy and things like this. This man right here, can you guys see him very good?
Yeah.
these, we're not sure what this man had, but he has no shoes on. And he found out that Americans were going to be in Korah, and he walked 3 days with no shoes to try to get to us because he only needed $15 to be able to go to the hospital to get the medicine that he needed to help with this skin disease that he had. So we were able to give him some money to help him get better. But just simple things like this, they don't have the blessing of being able to go to a hospital close by to get the medicine that they need to get things taken care of, because they don't have any money. They're really, really poor. And you can see this picture of this mama holding her baby. You see how she doesn't have any feet? And she lives in that wheelchair and tries to take care of her baby. So it's things like that that you see a lot in where these people live. So because they're so poor, they build their homes out of what you can find out of the garbage dump, like tarp or plastic or basically anything. It would be like if you guys were to go in your backyard one day and your mom said, yeah, go build a tree house or go build a fort. You would build it out of whatever you could find, right? So that's what these guys do, but they build it out of what they can find out of the trash dump. So like here, let me see if I can. Here's a kind of a picture of a house. You can see that it was built out of tarp and sticks, and sometimes even like old clothes that they'll find in the garbage dump, they'll use it to like cover sticks as shelter. So I don't know how well you guys can see that, but see if I can find it. This kind of shows some of their houses too. So there's about 100,000 to 150,000 people that live in this garbage. They survive off of, they find plastic material. Like, have you guys ever collected aluminum cans, over pop cans, and then went and sold them for coins? So in Ethiopia, they collect like plastic bottles out of the garbage dump in Korah, and they can go and sell those for money. So that, or else they'll dig in the trash dump for food to eat. So all the city's garbage trucks will come to the landfill and they'll dump out their garbage. And then you'll see people racing to the garbage trucks to try to find the best of what they can find. So a story, I have a friend that lives in Korah. His name is Darci, and he grew up in Korah. Both of his parents were lepers. And so his parents were always really sick. And so it was his job as a little boy to go to the garbage dump every day to try to find food for his family. And he tells a story of one day he went to the garbage dump and he was digging through the garbage and he looked like a potato, and it was actually a rat. He had taken a bite of it and realized that it wasn't a potato, it was a rat that's all of its skin had fallen off. And those are examples of what these kids experience every day. So I know that's kind of hard for us to imagine living here in America, because none of us have ever had to go to a garbage dump to get food to survive. But it is their reality, and it is what they wake up to every single day. And it's hard to watch, but you know what's so amazing about people that live in Korah, these kids? My first time going there, I thought I would go there and I thought I would see like kids crying and sad time and just mad at life and not happy. But you know what? Even though they live in such really hard circumstances, these kids have smiles on their faces and they're so grateful for whatever they get, and they're happy. They find like leftover tires out of the garbage dump that they make toys out of, or whatever they can. They don't really know any better anyways, but they have a lot of faith in Heavenly Father, and they believe that He loves them and that He has a purpose for them. So that always is really hopeful for me when I go there, because it's hard to see people suffering so much. But you still end up, and not that everybody's happy. There are people who are sad and that are suffering and who are sick. But that's what we try to do when we try to help them. So I'll show you guys just a few more pictures. Here's some kids that live there. They have flies. Do you guys see those flies? There's obviously dumps. There's a lot of flies, and they don't even try to swat them from their faces because they're just so common there. This is a picture of a little boy one day. Well, not a little boy. He's maybe 12 or 13. And he was, he didn't have on, I don't know if you guys could see those shoes that he had on, but they were like just torn apart and they were barely covering his feet. And so we were walking to the trash dump one day and we had a pair of shoes that fit him. You see those guys, those pink sandals that he has on? And he was so happy to get these new pair of shoes. See that big smile on his face? Just little simple things like that make them so happy and so grateful just to be able to have a good pair of shoes. Because a lot of the kids there don't even have shoes. They run around with no shoes on, which always makes me so scared because they're in a garbage dump. There's glass and there's sharp things. But I love that smile on his face because he's so grateful for something so simple as just a new pair of shoes. Just one sec. Oh, here's a really big picture. But I wanted to show you guys this. Do you guys see that right there? It's like that gray stuff right there.
Yeah.
What they eat there is inside a home in Korah. It can kind of give you an idea what it looks like. It just looks like garbage, right? That's where they live. And this right there is what they were eating. So what they eat there is a certain, it's called injera. You guys say injera?
Injera.
Good job. So it's like a bread that they make. And they put on these pans to make it, to cook it. And this family, this mom had 5 kids. And this injera, this is not what injera looks like. This injera is moldy because it's really old. It's kind of like eating really old bread. But the family survived because they didn't have anything else to eat. So that is the inside of their home and what they were eating. This is another picture of a home that was built there, and see how it's just held up by sticks and tarp, and so you can imagine what it's like when it rains there. Yeah, their homes get filled full of mud and water because they don't have strong, sturdy ceiling walls like we have here. So during the rainy season, it's really hard for them because their homes get full of mud and water and it's cold. And so one time when we were there, we purchased a bunch of tarp and we brought the people there, and they were so excited and happy because it could cover their houses better and prevent rain from coming. So they're super, super grateful for just simple things like that. Let's see. There was one more. Oh. So when we take people to Ethiopia, when we take teams there to and the people there, we bring them little bags of clothes. And so this is a family that this woman right here, she had bought everybody in the family like a new pair of clothes. And these families were so happy and excited because they don't ever get new things like this. One of my other friends that not grew up in Korah, but lived there for 12 years. and he wore the same outfit for 12 years. Can you guys imagine? Like the clothes you're wearing today, wearing them for the next 12 years. When he was discovered by an American team, clothes were just rags and they were torn, and so just like being able to bring them some new clothes is a huge blessing for them. They're really, really grateful. So the people there in Korah, incredibly kind. When they bring you into their home, they're like so excited to give you whatever they have. They don't have anything. Want you to sit on a stool in their house, and they want to pray for you, and they're just incredibly humble and kind, and learn so much about Heavenly Father and Jesus Christ because of them, because they teach me what's most important in life, and that is our relationships with our families and our friends and with our Heavenly Father, and that things are nice and they bring us comfort, but what brings us real happiness is how we treat other people and our relationships with other people. So I really love the people of Korah a lot, and I'm grateful that you guys are willing to let me tell you a little bit about them and let you know about these people. And if anything, if you guys could just pray for them, because prayers work. And I know that Heavenly Father hears your prayer, will bless them because of the prayers that are spoken for them. So what questions can I answer for you guys? What questions do you have about Korah or Ethiopia? And I'm going to let your teacher, one of you guys, to ask a question.
Okay, Nora.
Because he can see you better.
And when you ask your question, make sure it speaks nice and loud.
You said when it rains, it's kind of hard for them. What if other disasters, like what if it's like really windy? What do they do?
Yeah. You know what? I haven't really heard of wind being too much of a problem there, but I imagined if it was, I know it gets super windy in Arizona and Utah. So I think just picture it like if you had a tent outside and the wind was blowing, what would happen to the tent?
It would fall over.
Yeah. So that's probably what would happen to their houses, since they're made just tarp and wood and just things holding them up. They would probably blow over. I actually went into a home of a lady one time and her was collapsing. And so we were able to use money that had been donated to Korah Kids to move her into a safer home. So yeah, that's probably what would happen. Okay, next question.
Can you throw away a cupcake for them?
Sorry, what'd she say?
Can you throw away a cupcake for them?
Can you throw away?
Yes, like so they could get it once it gets dumped there.
Yeah, I'm sure if they found a cupcake in the trash dump, they would be so excited. All the kids would probably fight over it if they found treats like that in the trash dump. Okay, next question.
Did you cry when you were ever there?
You know what? I have cried before. I haven't cried in front of them, but I have cried after I left, because you do feel so bad for them. You ever want to see somebody else suffering, especially little kids. And so it's hard to see them suffer, but like I said, they're happy and they're grateful for whatever they have. And so that does make it easier, knowing that, you know, they just don't know any better. They don't know what a life is like living in a home with 4 walls and a ceiling and a nice TV and having 3 big meals a day. They don't know what that's like. And so very simple things make them incredibly happy. Just having an American there holding their hand, walking around Korah for the day makes them really, really happy. Now, are they hungry all the time? Yeah, and they know it. They'll suck on sugar cane. Do you know what sugar cane is?
Yeah.
It kind of looks like a big stick, but you open it up and it's sweet. And so they'll cut it open and they'll suck on that. And that kind of helps quench their hunger. It kind of makes their hunger pains go away. So those are some things that they do to try to help them not be so hungry all the time. Okay, next question.
Rose.
How often do you go to Ethiopia?
So I go to Ethiopia at least twice a year. Last year I went 3 times. It just kind of depends on what I have going on. I have 5 kids of my own, so sometimes it's hard to leave, but I at least go twice a year, and then I send other people from our organization at least once or twice a year. So we try to get out there as often as we can to bring them stuff to help. Next question.
Can they grow stuff in Ethiopia?
That's a great question. They can grow things in Ethiopia, and actually, the Liberty Youth Academy here in St. George, I don't know if your teachers have told you, but they raised enough money to help us build what's called a feeding center. It's at a really poor school there, and we were able to build this feeding center, and it feeds the kids one big healthy meal a day. Sometimes that's the only meal that day. And at that feeding center, at that school, they have lots of land, and we were able to build a garden on that land so that they could use for the feeding center or for other kids or families at the school. But what happened is because that it's such a poor country that last time we were there, lost access to water. So it's a school of about 5,000 kids, and they have no running water. So the garden actually died, and so right now we're trying to help the school get water. So in Korah, though, they don't have any land to build gardens. They live very, very close to each other, and there's not room to build gardens. I wish there was. That's a great plan and a great idea, buddy, but they just don't have the space there. So hopefully once we get water back at the school, we can build lots of gardens there for them so they can get food that way. That's a great question. Okay, next.
Annalise.
Are you in Ethiopia right now? And if not, where are you?
I wish I was in Ethiopia. I love Ethiopia. I'm not. I'm at my home in St. George, Utah. Yeah, do you know where St. George is? Yeah? Okay, yep, that's where I'm at right now.
What is it?
Loud.
Hail.
Really loud.
What is it? Hail.
What did she say?
What if it hailed?
What if it hails?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, actually in Ethiopia, they don't ever get any snow. So when you go there and you show them pictures of the snow, they're like, whoa, what is that? And I actually have a son that we brought to America from Ethiopia. He grew up in Ethiopia, and we brought him here to America, and it was really fun seeing him play in snow for the very, very first time. They love it. They think that it's so much fun. So they actually don't get snow in Ethiopia. So that's at least something they don't have to worry about when it comes to being cold and living where they live. So next question.
How do they get water currently? If they don't.
How do they get water currently? Was that the question?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, that's a great question. So throughout Korah, I think they have 2 water wells, and they put a certain amount of water in it at the beginning of the week, and then the people have to pay money to go fill up their buckets full of water, and some people have to walk like 5 miles with these buckets of water. And if the water runs out, then it runs out. They don't get water. So actually what we did on our last trip, I was just in Ethiopia a few weeks ago, and we brought them water filters. They were little, we could pack them in our suitcase, and when we brought them there, we taught them how to put them together, and we bought them buckets, and we showed them how to use it. And so that way they can have clean water all the time. They can go to, there's a river kind of close by, and they can go there and get water out of the river, and then they can use these water filters so that they have clean water. They were really, really excited. I don't have a picture of that. I wish I should have printed that off to show you guys, but they were really, really excited to get these water filters. They thought it was magic that the water would go in dirty and come out clean. So that's actually a huge blessing for them. So we plan on taking more water filters over every time that we go, so that we can bless a lot of families with that, because clean water is really, really important, and it's a luxury for them. So that was a really, really great question. You guys are asking awesome questions. You're so smart. So what else do you guys have? What other questions do you have?
Ask them.
Sometimes do they pass out because they're so hungry?
There have been, yeah. So one of the reasons why we wanted to put a feeding center there is because we found out a bunch of kids at the school were fainting because they were so hungry. When you don't get food in your body, you become really like what's called malnourished. Your body can't work the right way. And so that's why why we wanted to put a feeding center at the school, because the kids will learn better when they have food in their stomach, right? It's no fun learning when you go to school hungry, huh? It makes it hard to study and want to learn. So that's one of the reasons why I put a feeding center at that school. But yes, there have been kids who have become really, really sick, actually, because they aren't nourished very well and they don't have food in their bodies. So that is a big problem there, yeah. Okay, what other question?
So I know that the OYA there, donates a lot of, does fundraisers and donates some money, but is there any, other places that donate money to, Korah?
Yeah, there are lots of really good, generous, kind people who, when they hear about Korah Kids, they hear about our organization and they hear about Korah, they want to help. And so they do donate money. And if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have been able to build the feeding center. We wouldn't have been able to buy these water filters that we brought over. A lot of people there don't have mattresses. They just sleep on the dirt. And so when we go there, we buy mattresses and we bring them to them and we put them inside their homes, and blankets. Having a blanket is like a big blessing. Mattress. And we buy them food. We give them money to be able to go to the hospital, because there's a lot of sickness there and people can't pay to go to a nice hospital to get the good medicine that they need to get better. And so we will give them money to be able to go to the hospital to get the medicine that they need to feel better. And then we also have called a sponsorship program, where we have kids on our website that need a sponsor. And a sponsor is somebody who sends them money every month to be able to pay for food for their family so that the kids can go to school. And then also they have to pay rent to live in the trash dump. That sounds kind of crazy, like rent, like you pay money every month to live in your home.
Yeah.
So they pay money every month to live in the trash dump. And it's about $30 US, $30 to $40 US a month to live in the trash dump, which here in America, that's not very much money, but over there, that's a lot of money. And so sometimes the parents, I showed you guys the pictures of the people who have leprosy, right? They don't have any hands, have feet. The parents are too sick to work. And so it's really hard to be able to pay rent, to be able to buy food there for their family. And so that's why we have a sponsorship program, because it helps pay for, it's about to $50 a month will feed an entire family for that month. Pretty crazy, huh? So the money goes a long ways there. $50 would probably pay for your family to go eat at a restaurant one time, but it feeds a family for a whole entire month. And it makes it so they don't have to dig to the trash dump and eat yucky food from there. So that's another thing that we try to do. So yeah, and that's why letting people know about Korah is so important. And so one thing that you guys could do, which would be so helpful, is to go home and tell your family and tell your friends and be like, hey, I gotta tell you about this place I learned today and about how these kids live. And if you ever in your heart to be able to want to help somebody, then you should go look at their website and check it out and learn more about it. People want to help. Sometimes they just don't know how to do it or why these people need help. So you guys can help me out a lot by teaching people out about it. Can you guys do that for me? That would be awesome. Thank you. What's your question, honey?
Why do they have to pay rent on a trash dump? I mean, like, they have to build their own houses, do all these things, and they still have to pay it on a trash dump. A trash dump.
I know. Isn't that crazy? I thought the same thing. So it's because that land is owned by the government, and then the government will like rent that land out to people. And so they either have to pay money to the government to live there or to other people who have already bought that piece of land. So I know that's hard for us to understand because, we're really lucky where we live that we have the freedoms that we have and that we have a government who tries to help us in those situations, but there they don't. And so I know it's crazy that they have to pay rent to live there, but it's just, they do. So it stinks, huh? It doesn't seem very fair, but that's just the way their country is. So what's your question, bud?
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, who's next?
So what happens if you don't pay the rent?
What happens if you don't pay rent?
Yeah.
Then they get kicked out and they have to go find somewhere else to live. So that's another thing that we help people with when people make donations to Korah Kids. There's a lot of widows there. You guys know what a widow is?
Yeah.
Like a mommy who doesn't have a husband there to help. And so we help a lot of widows pay rent because they're alone and they don't have a husband there to help them make money. And so we'll give them, like, for example, this last time we were there, we went and met a mommy who was really sick. She has what's called HIV, and that's a disease that doesn't have a cure. Well, they don't have the medicine to help them get better there. And it makes you really sick. And she was homeless, and she had a 1-year-old baby girl. And she was sleeping in her neighbor's house at night. The neighbor was letting her sleep there at night if she would like wash her dishes and do her laundry and stuff like that. So she was actually somebody that was on our website needing sponsorship. So last time I was there, I wanted to go visit her. And she's a really special lady. And she cried in my arms because she just felt so sad and just really needed help. And so I was really touched by, you want to help everybody while you're there, but I was really touched by this mama. And so with money that had been donated for her kids, we went and bought her own little house. And we bought her a bed and a mat and some cooking supplies. And she didn't know this. And there's a video, maybe your teacher could show you. It's on our Facebook page. And we surprised her one day with this new little house. And she just cried and cried and cried. She was so grateful because she's too sick to be able to go out and work. And she'd have to go dig to the trash dump every day to try to find food for her little girl. So her house was probably the size of, probably the size of a walk-in closet. It wasn't very big at all. It fit her bed and a little table. But she acted like she was moving into a mansion. She was so grateful and so excited. So actually, that's another thing that the Liberty Academy School in St. George here is helping with. They're helping pay for her rent, for her food, for her and her little girl every month so that they can get good food. So what's the next question?
So would they be able to, like, if they raised that money, would they be able to build a well for them?
A water well?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great question. And I have looked into that. Water wells are a lot of money. And so we have looked into other organizations that's all they do is build water wells. And that is something that is definitely on our list to be able to do there someday. So yeah, that's a great question. That would definitely be something, a great way to be able to help them is to build more water wells. But they take a lot of drilling in the ground and a pump, and they're really expensive. So right now we're just handing out water filters. And that's kind of what we're doing for now until hopefully maybe one day we could raise enough money so we could. Next question.
How do they get sick?
How do they get sick?
Yes.
Well, they get sick because in a trash dump, there's a lot of diseases. They don't have soap to wash their hands. They don't have clean water. And that makes it so you get germs. And it causes a lot of diseases. And also, they don't have medicine there like we do here in America. Like if you have a fever or if you start getting sick, your parents will probably take you to the doctor, right? To see what's wrong or to give you medicine. Well, they don't have that there. They can't afford to go to the doctor. And so their problems just get worse and worse. And so, and because there's so many people that live in such a small area altogether, disease spreads really fast because they're so close by each other. And they don't have ways of venting it really. And they don't, like I said, have clean water. They don't have things to wash with. And so it just spreads really quickly. So next question.
Nathan.
I saw that in one of the houses they had like a mattress or something for a door.
Yeah.
In one of the videos. I know that it's too big for their house, but why don't they use it?
The mattress?
Yeah.
Well, sometimes because they don't have very much room in their houses, they'll lift the mattress up during the day and put it up against the wall so that they have room during the day to like cook or just live, And then at nighttime, they'll move everything out of the way and they'll put the mattresses down to sleep on because their homes are really, really small. Like, maybe your teacher can show you like how big like 300 to 400 square feet is. But that's about how big their homes are. Like one of your walk-in closets or just a really tiny room. And that's where like families of like 4 or 5 people will live. And they'll all sleep on one mattress together. Yeah. Next question.
Do you give them like games and stuff?
Games? Yeah, so we, we'll give them we'll give them candy while they're there. But it's fun to be able to give them games. But when we're there, we try to give them like the things that they really need, like food, clothes, help them with their rent, because we want to make sure those needs are taken care of first. But one of the things that we're working on is opening up an after-school program for these kids to come in after school to like a nice place, like a building, and get help with their schoolwork. They are able to go to school and to get an after-school snack. And then also maybe that could be a place where they could have some fun and play some games. That's something that we're actually working on right now. Because they want to have fun too, huh? Okay, next question.
Does everybody have diseases?
Everybody?
Yeah.
Not everybody. A lot of people do, but not everybody. There's healthy people there too. And sometimes people get the medicine that they need to get better. And that's why, we like to go there and help them with that so that they can get better and be healthy.
This might be
Next
a silly
question.
This might be a silly question, but plumbing is really expensive. So what do they do for bathrooms?
No, that's a great question, buddy. They have one community bathroom. where everybody, well, I've only seen one. There may be more than one. And then a lot of times they'll just the back outside their little house. So that's what they do, because they don't have running water. They don't have toilets. They have one community bathroom that I know of, and then or else just use outside their houses. Next question.
Can they not buy the land from the government?
You can. It's kind of they do things a little bit differently there. It's really, really, really expensive. Like I was looking into buying land because I want to build. We want to put our own school there. And just to buy like not a very big piece of land, it's like $60,000. So it's really expensive. Land really, really expensive there. So yeah, I wish it wasn't. And sometimes we can get the government to donate land to us, which I'm hoping that they'll do for us, certain things that we want to do there. But it's just really hard because everybody's poor there and everybody needs and wants money. So that's the tricky part. I wish it wasn't. Okay, next question. Does anybody else have a question?
Do they speak English?
Yeah, they do. A lot of them do speak English. Some of them learn it at their school. So the language that they speak is called Amharic. Can you guys say Amharic?
Amharic.
And that's the language that they speak in Ethiopia. They actually speak lots of languages, but that's mainly the language they speak there. So I'm going to teach you guys how to say hello in Amharic, okay?
Okay.
Okay, you say salamno.
Salamno.
That's for a boy. And you say salamnish.
Salamnish.
That's for a girl. So I just say salam. You just say salam. Salam. So maybe now all day today when you guys see somebody, you can say salam. And it's really smart. Because now you know how to speak a little bit of Amharic. Good job. You guys are fast learners. So how do you say hello?
Salam.
Salam. Good job. So yeah, if some people don't know English, we have somebody there that knows English and Amharic, so they can translate for us, so that we can communicate with each other. But you know a communication that everybody knows, regardless of what language you speak? A hug. Yeah. Everybody can speak love through a hug. Okay, what's your next question?
Do you speak their language?
I don't. I know maybe like 10 words. It's really hard. And I even have a son who speaks Amharic and is from Ethiopia, and he tries teaching me. But I'm learning slowly. Every time I go, I learn a new word. And I know how to say something to them. But that's a goal of mine. I wish I could speak fluent Amharic. That would be awesome. I do know some words, but not very many. Okay, do you guys have any other questions?
Okay.
You guys asked some really, really great questions. Yeah.
You know how to say goodbye in your language?
Yeah, so when you say goodbye, you just say ciao.
Ciao.
Ciao. Yeah, that's not too hard. So you say hi, salamno, and goodbye, ciao. Good job. You guys are awesome. Good job.
So I think those are all of our questions. Thank you so much for dialing in and chatting with us. What do you guys
You're
say?
welcome. Thank you guys so much. You're awesome. Thank you for listening today.
All right.
Ciao. Ciao.